Yo, what is up everyone? I'm Carlos and we're Emerald Sauce, and welcome to part 8 of our Dragon Ball Z What If series, What If the Remaining Saiyans Were Good? This time, I don't have any announcements of any sort, so let's just begin. Now, with the last part, our heroes spent the 7 years training most of the time and enjoying the time of peace that was currently happening. The humans and Piccolo ended up training with the Kais and prepared for the threat of Majin Buu. With them to go to Earth and warn everyone else, and with all the prepared for this threat, Yamcha ended up preventing the events of the Buu saga, but didn't save the planet. Now before we go to Super, welcome to our special part of describing the adventures that Raditz and Turles went through during the 4 years after leaving Earth. Now like we said in the last part, they left during the halfway point of the time skip, so we got 3.5 years to talk about. When they first left, they trained harshly, trying to aim for the goal of the Super Saiyan 2 transformation. Some of the first many planets they arrived at ended up being some of the remaining Frieza planets that was ruled by his old soldiers, but they easily killed all of the soldiers and brought the planet to its independence. One of the Frieza planets had Sorbet, the one who resurrected Frieza. So without really knowing, they ended up preventing the future saga of Resurrection F. Around a year into their adventure, they landed on a planet, but it looked completely destroyed. They barely sense any energy, but then they hear a voice of two people behind them. They turn around to see two blue pirate-looking people. They introduce themselves as Beto and Kogu, members of Bojack's crew. Raditz and Turles looked at each other, never hearing about this crew. They begin to laugh. This angers Beto and Kogu as they rush down Raditz and Turles. They transform into the perfected Super Saiyan transformation, and without any trouble, they both erase the pirates with a single ki blast. They decided to look for the remaining of the members in the planet, hoping for a good fight, but after easily killing the other two, they didn't think this crew would be any show of threat. They would split up to cover more ground, but that would end up biting them back in the butt. Turles would end up being attacked while he had his guard down. Bujin would trap Turles, not letting him move, as both Bojack and Zangya would blast Turles with full force. This would seriously injure Turles, as he was almost out of the fight completely. Raditz would sense the drop in Turles' ki and would immediately head to his direction. Raditz transforms into his Super Saiyan state. Note, at this point in time, he hasn't gotten Super Saiyan 2 yet, as they're only in their first year of traveling to space. When he arrives, he sees Turles' body on the floor, as he goes to Turles, asking if he was alright. Weakly, Turles would try to warn Raditz, but it would be too late, as Bojack would attack, but Raditz would be able to grab Turles and narrowly dodge the attack. Raditz hides Turles and goes to fight Bojack and his crew. Bujin would try to trap Raditz like he did to Turles, as Zangya would shoot a ki blast. Seeing this, Raditz stacks Kaioken times 5 with Super Saiyan and breaks free from Bujin's trap and shoots a powerful double Sunday at both the pirates, and they would try to hold the blast off, but Raditz wasn't holding back, as this attack easily engulfs both of them completely, erasing them. Seeing this, Bojack gets angry and slightly worried as he powers up to transform into his green skin form. I don't know what they call it. Full power Bojack. Kinda weird how he needs to change skin tone in order to grow more in power. Not gonna lie, Bojack kinda sus. Anyways, he would transform and be beating on Raditz. Now with Raditz stacking Kaioken with Super Saiyan, he is being beaten by Bojack easily. He tries to fight back, but Bojack, being much more powerful, isn't faced by the attacks. In the background, Turles sees this and tries to get up even after all the damage he took. He would power up to a Super Saiyan state and goes to aid Raditz. Now, Bojack being too busy with Raditz, he doesn't realize Turles, and Turles takes this chance to try to kill Bojack, as he charges up a kill driver and shoots it at Bojack, which hits him in the back, and this angers him even more, as he felt the attack. He drops Raditz and begins beating on Turles. Raditz seeing this, he grows enraged. He learned to care about Turles with the time they spent together and being alike, as he ended up seeing Turles as a good friend. He felt powerless, as he couldn't do much to save him. All these feelings grew and mixed in his head. He powers up enraged as his power grows greatly, and before he knows it, Raditz had become a Super Saiyan 2. Bojack sees this, being completely shocked, as he would throw Turles at Raditz and shoots a ki blast to kill Turles, but Raditz is able to catch Turles and deflect the attack. Raditz would put Turles down and go fight Bojack. Now this will be a different than how it was when Gohan fought Bojack. The difference is that Raditz doesn't have the same potential as Gohan, so this fight will be a lot closer. With Raditz already heavily damaged, this fight will be a lot closer, but Raditz still having the upper hand. Bojack would try everything to fight off Raditz, but Raditz would be able to fight back, as this fight will be close, as Raditz would sucker punch Bojack in the stomach, and this would hurt Bojack greatly, as he is on his knees. Raditz would walk off, saying it's no use fighting him, no more. But this will piss off Bojack, as he shoots one final blast towards Raditz to try to kill him. But Raditz would turn shooting his own blast, which erases Bojack completely. Raditz would fall over, powering down Super Saiyan 2 and crawl his way to Turles. He picks him up and heads to their ship. Raditz having used up so much of his energy, he passes out and puts a random coordinate, and then not knowing where they are already heading. Everything is black as they hear many voices. They are scared of Raditz and Turles as they know they are Saiyans, but then someone speaks up, saying that they must aid them quickly. Raditz wakes up being surrounded by the Namekians, as they all get afraid and run away from Raditz. He tries to get up, but needs aid as he is still very injured, as an elder Mori enters, speaking to Raditz. Raditz asks why did he save both of them, as Mori says it was the right thing to do, and a few years ago they were visited by some other Saiyans that were somewhat good in nature, and recently they have heard the news of two Saiyans fighting off the remaining Frieza forces, and doing good deeds, as he believed it was them. Mori would proceed to Raditz, placing his hand on Raditz's head, and read his memory, as he would see him being friendly. Mori would then fully heal up Raditz and Turles, as they would thank them. They would prepare to leave, but dealt with a problem, as their ship had been destroyed on the landing, which kinda bummed them out. Raditz would think about the Dragon Balls, and ask Mori if they can use it to get a new ship, but Mori looks down, saying that recently, the Dragon Balls have been used for something evil. They explained not long ago, there was a tyrant on their planet, and used the Dragon Balls to wish them immortality, youth, and power. They were taken off guard, as the tyrant was Lord Slug. He became a powerful foe, and no one on their planet would be able to beat him, as Nail ever since he was being trained diligently to become strong, as he even fused with most of the warrior Namekians to gain strength. But even after all of that, and its potential being unlocked by Mori, he isn't nowhere near strong enough to fight Lord Slug. Raditz and Turles say they would help them defeat this foe, and then take Lord Slug's ship. Mori thanks them, but even then, he is not sure there will be enough, but he tells them that Lord Slug would return in a few months, so they shouldn't waste more time. Mori would unlock both Raditz and Turles' potential, and this gives them a big increase in power, and they began their training with Nail. And now Nail is near in strength with Raditz in his Super Saiyan 2 state, so Raditz and Turles' goal is to get a good grip on the Super Saiyan 2 form. Their training is intense, as that's all they did during the few months. But Turles wasn't having any luck with transforming into the Super Saiyan 2 transformation, as this angers him, but then he thought about something as he looks at his tail that he still has. One day he tells Raditz the idea, and Raditz believes he is crazy for trying something like this, but Turles would still try it. Turles will transform into his Great Ape transformation, and this alerts Nail as he rushes over and asks Raditz what is Turles doing. But Raditz says that Turles has the idea of combining the Super Saiyan state with the Great Ape form, and possibly combining both powers together. Turles has control of his Great Ape form, but then when he tries to stack Super Saiyan, that's when it goes bad. Turles losing control, and the planet begins shaking as his Great Ape becomes golden. Raditz is surprised that it's working, but Turles begins to destroy the surrounding area as Nail gets upset at Raditz for not letting this happen, as he prepares to deal with Turles. But then Turles takes control of his ape form, as a big shiny golden aura builds up as everyone is blinded. But when the bright light is gone, Turles is seen with long spiky hair, with red fur around his body, Raditz and Nail are stunned by this power and ask what it is. Now, it would be impractical to call it Super Saiyan 4, as you know, they haven't seen Super Saiyan 3. Actually, no one has seen Super Saiyan 3 at this point. So, you know, something else that we could call it is Perfected Ape form, but just to keep it simple, we'll call it Super Saiyan 4 to not cause any confusion. So, Raditz is astonished by this power and would want to try to obtain it himself, but he wouldn't have enough time, as not soon after, Lord Slug would arrive at Namek. He leaves his ship, ready to use the Dragon Balls again, but then is greeted by Nail as he prepares to stop him, but Lord Slug laughs, saying he cannot beat him, but then Slug is kicked as he is sent launching into a nearby mountain, as he gets up to see two Saiyans, Turles in his newly found Super Saiyan 4 transformation, and Raditz in his Super Saiyan 2 form. They waste no time as they rush down Slug, beating him, and they both charge up their respective blast and shoot it at Slug. Smoke would clear as Slug comes out with all its injuries, regenerating as he didn't take any damage. Slug would begin powering up as he would rush down both the Saiyans, grabbing them and smashing them down into the ground. Nail would try to attack Slug from the back, but it wouldn't even phase Slug a bit as Slug would grab Nail and send him flying and then shoot a ki blast that would hit Nail full force, almost killing him. Raditz and Turles would fight Slug with teamwork and started getting the edge of the fight, but Slug is managing to handle both of them without having any trouble, and then sends Raditz away, giving him a big gut punch that brings him to his base form, as he looks over that Turles is actually managing his own against Slug, as Raditz realizes that if he had Super Saiyan 4 as well, they will be able to completely erase Slug, since Raditz was the weaker one. He flies over to the Namekians with Nail quickly and asks for the Namekians to heal both of them, as they do, but Raditz is the only one to fly back to the battle. Raditz sees that Turles is beginning to struggle as he focuses to create an energy ball to transform himself into the Great Ape form. As he then stacks Super Saiyan on the form and loses control as he begins to fight both Turles and Slug, but soon he begins to take over and a bright yellow light flashes everywhere as Raditz is revealed to obtain Super Saiyan 4, but he quickly aids in Turles, telling him that they must end this quickly as he isn't sure how long he could hold this form. Slug seeing this, he's at a disadvantage. He transforms into his giant form, but this doesn't stop the Saiyans, as together they fight Slug, hitting him at his weak points together with full force as they get Slug to the ground, as then they both uppercut him at the same time, which will send him flying upwards, and together they charge their blast again, but this time with full force. And this combined force pushes Slug out of the planet and sends him to a nearby sun, where Slug would face a terrible fate with not being able to die so forever, would be burning and healing. Terrible fate, not gonna lie, kinda dark, but if you think about it, toasting the Namekian meats are. Anyways, the Namekians would be grateful to the Saiyans and thank them for being in their debt. They would just want to bring some food on their journey back in space, as they would pack up and take Slug's ship to continue their journey in space. Now, they wouldn't really be training as the ship wasn't built for it, but after a month, they landed on a nearby planet, being Planet Yardrat. They will meet the people, and seeing all their techniques, they will be intrigued. Then, they're introduced to Elder Pibara. God, I'm hoping I'm saying that right. Who in the manga trained Vegeta and Goku the instant transmission. They would ask for them to be able to train under him to learn this amazing technique. Yus and Pibara, I'm really hoping I'm saying this right, knowing about these two Saiyans, would allow this for the next few months. They would train and learn all the techniques of the Yardrat people during their time. Training, this is when they meet Jakku. At this point, the Z fighters on Earth defeated the threat of Boo. Jakku would ask them if they would like to join the Galactic Patrol, as they would deny it, but then Jakku would trick them, saying it is such a shame that they would miss the chance at fighting strong opponents. Hearing that, they changed their minds and joined the Galactic Patrol, but refused to wear their ridiculous uniforms. They will make it to the planet, and they meet another Galactic Patrol member called Merus. Mirus? I don't know. The Saiyans are interested in Mirus, as he's the most powerful Galactic Patrol member. So in case y'all don't know who Mirus is, as he's only in the manga of Dragon Ball Super, he is basically an angel in disguise. He was trained by Whis and was sent to be mortal to see his view on how other mortals live. But basically, he is really strong, and these two are meeting an angel far before Dragon Ball Super. Oh yeah, spoilers by the way, I'm sorry. They would ask if they can spar with Mirrors to get an idea of how strong he accepts the challenge, but warns not to hold back. Turles and Raditz transform into their Super Saiyan 4 transformation again, and begin the battle, but before anyone even notices it, Turles knocks out flat on the ground. Raditz is shocked, as he didn't even have time to process what just happened, as he would try to attack Mirrors, but Mirrors would easily dodge all of his attacks, and with one punch completely forces Raditz into his base form. Raditz is lost for words, as he cannot believe how strong this person is, even with their newly found power of Super Saiyan 4. Raditz asks how did he get this strong, but Mirrors just walks away. Jackos tries to tell Raditz not to feel bad, as Mirrors is the strongest member, and now the two Saiyans are under him in strength. Who is cutting grass? When Turles wakes up, Raditz explains what had happened, and then they begin training fiercely, as their goal is to beat Mirrors. Away, Mirrors contacts Whis and tells him that he believes that he has found the Super Saiyan gods that Mirrors has been looking for. Whis tells Mirrors to train them up so that they will be prepared for Beerus. But Mirrors exclaims that they seem too weak to possibly put any excitement to Beerus. Well everyone, that's where we end off this part of the Dragon Ball Z What If. What if the remaining Saiyans were good? I hope you enjoyed the bit of a, what would you call it, side mission of Turles and Raditz. We felt like they wouldn't, be staying at Earth forever with like it being so peaceful, and they couldn't really like pull a Vegeta, be a sort of family man, while also training quite a bit here and there. So we decided to send them out on this adventure, this odyssey, if you will. But yeah, I mean, I hope you like the new direction we went with this. Also, you already know, like, let us know what you thought of it. Leave a like if you enjoyed anything else. Let us know any other what ifs you want us to do in the future. We're still gonna try to finish this, and we're gonna be working on it even more to get like more parts out. We do have another project also in the works, but again, this is still like the main focus, just to finish this series first. But yeah, that's really all I have to say. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you all next time. Peace.